Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. My name's Lizzie and today I have my June wrap up. This month was really good. I ended up reading like 11 books, so I was super excited about that. And then I also hit my Goodreads goal. So I only did like 50 books. That was my goal for this year because I didn't know with like school and everything how great it would go, but I completed it. So I'm actually well over. So next year maybe I'll like challenge myself a little bit more, but I also don't want to like force myself to read. I was thinking about doing like a half year update sort of thing and kind of going over it and talking about the best and not so great books that I've read so far this year. But we're just going to focus on the month of June and get started. So the first book that I read this month was A Shadow in the Ember, and this has been, I've been meaning to read it forever and I finally got to it this month. I thought it was really good. The ending especially was really, really good, and I'm so excited for the next book to come out. I think it's coming out in November, and I think it's just a duology, but I really liked Seraphina and Ash's relationship. If you like From Blood and Ash, you're definitely gonna like this. Their banter is amazing. I'm a big fan of banter. And I felt like they did a good job explaining the world building a little bit better in this book than in the other ones. But maybe it's because I already have an idea of what it's about. But definitely liked this book a lot. Would highly recommend. Classic fantasy romance. The next book I read was House of Sky and Breath, and this was my only 5-star read of this month. Guys, it was amazing. I wish, see, now I'm like changing my ratings for all of my books because I never like to rate the very first book in a series until I read the second one, and this is exactly why. The world building was completely essential for this book. It was definitely, it followed a different mystery. Obviously, it still followed Bryce, but it was a different mystery that they were trying to, like, I keep saying mystery to solve. It's sort of like that. I feel like that's the best way to describe it, or like case that they're trying to solve, with like building off of what happened in the last book. You get tons more POVs of other characters, and Rune Dannon, y'all, guys, he is like amazing. So I really liked this book. Definitely recommend. If you have not started this series, read it. I luckily did not get spoiled for anything. I was nervous going into this book that I may have accidentally seen something, but I didn't. So again, 5 stars. I don't know if I rated the last book, but A Shadow in the Ember, I did 3.5 stars. The next book I read was on my Kindle, and it is After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is the first book I've ever read by her, and I really liked it. This is the book that made me realize I like reading about relationships that have crumbled. Like, I like starting off the book where it's south. It's already terrible. And then they build up, you know? I think it's a way more interesting to read about than like books where they slowly get together. So I really liked this book. I also gave it a 3.5 stars. I thought it was really good, and I now need to read her other books. I feel like she has so many other popular ones that I just need to go through now. I think I'm gonna buy next One True Loves, but I've also heard like The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, I think that's it, is also really good. So let me know which one I should read next, especially with me liking the absolute sadness crumbled romance books. Those are my favorite. And then the next book that I read was also on my Kindle, and that is The Words by Ashley Jade. And that I actually saw on TikTok of Literary Lola. If you don't follow her, you have to. She's like, I love her book recommendations. It was great. It's like about a rock star named Phoenix, and it's second chance romance, obviously. Like we discovered last month, that is like my thing. And he's like a rock star, and there's like all this like, they have some bad blood, and she comes back in Lennon into his life to like help him out. And yeah, it's just like follows them. The angst in this book, y'all, is amazing. Their banter is great, and it's great. I love Lennon. She is just top tier. And I do like Phoenix too, but Lennon is my girl. There is, I think, a second book in the series that hasn't come out yet, so definitely whenever that comes out, I will be reading that. But I gave that book a 4 stars. So yes, definitely recommend. Then I read Imagine Me. Y'all, what? I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was good, but when it was over, I was confused. Like, I felt like the author left it kind of open for another 3 books to come out. Also, you don't get Warner's point of view in this. Spoiler alert, I guess. I don't think, no, that's not spoiler. But you don't get Warner's point of view. And the entire time, I was just like waiting to like know what was going on in his head. So I liked it, but I was just kind of like, ugh. It also kind of felt like a repeat of the last 2 books that she had. But still very good. Very sad that this book series is over. I read Believe Me. That was my next book, and I rated that 5 stars because it was all Warner's POV. Love Warner. And it was just really cute. And I felt like it sort of wrapped up the story. But again, I felt like there could have been more. Like she could do more with it. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. Overall, I'd rate the entire series a 5 star. Definitely recommend. Super easy to like understand. It's young adult, I think, or yeah, I think it's young adult. It was good. I just was like, what? But you do get more of Kenji in this book, his POV. And if you've read the novellas, he a lot of times like voices those. So he's just like the comic relief. To see inside his head was good. So yeah, those were the next, I guess, 2 books I read. And believe me, I read on my Kindle, so I don't have the physical book. So the next book I read is Hideaway by Penelope Douglas, and this is part of the Devil's Night series. So I actually, last summer, really weird, I read the 1st book and the 4th book. So Corrupt and Nightfall. I haven't read the 3rd book, Kill Switch. I think I'll probably read that next month because I want to read about Damon now. I was so annoyed with him before, but now I kind of want to get his story. But this followed Kai and Banks, and I really liked Banks. I think she's probably, I don't know. Actually, I think I don't know. I liked her a lot. I also liked Kai a lot, but Will is still my favorite. But Kai is really great in this book. So I gave it 4 stars. I would recommend, again, either you like Penelope Douglas and her writing and what she does, or you don't. So, you know, go into that with what you want. The next book I read was actually my least favorite book of this month, and it is The Girl on the Train. I was so disappointed in this book. So when I read mysteries, I want it to be a mystery until like the very end. I don't know if you guys read like The Silent Patient or anything like that. I want to like stay guessing until the last second. I guess what had happened like 100 pages into the book. And I remember specifically texting my mom and being like, I hope this isn't what I think it is. And I like told her what I thought, and she was like, you're just gonna have to find out. And it happened exactly how I thought. I was hoping there would be like some secret little plot twist, but there wasn't. So this book was a struggle to get through, especially because I guess what had happened. I gave it 2 stars. It was just fine. Would not read it again. I don't really know if I'd recommend it as that great of a thriller, but I heard the movie was really good, so maybe I'll watch the movie. But honestly, after reading the book, I'm kind of like, whatever about seeing the movie now. So then the next book that I read was The Mistake, and that was also on my Kindle. That is part of the Off-Campus series. It's the 2nd book. I read? No, I just kind of like reread like over the deal because I really wanted to keep reading the Off-Campus series, but I couldn't exactly remember what had happened in the 1st book. So I reread that so I could read The Mistake. And it follows Logan and Grace. It's like second chance romance. Their relationship's really, really cute. I still think I like Hannah and Garrett's better. But I'm excited to read The Score is next. I got that on my Kindle next, so I'll probably read that next month. And that follows, I think it's Dean. I'm pretty sure it's Dean. I'm not 100%, but yeah. So I gave this 3 stars. I thought it was good, just not as good as the first one. So hopefully the 3rd one is really, really good. So the next book I read was The Bromance Book Club, and I did not expect to like this book as much as I did. It was definitely probably my 2nd favorite book of the month, which is kind of funny. It's about this guy, I think his name, so Scott. So Scott's marriage just crumbled apart. Obviously, I love that. That's like my favorite trope, obviously. His marriage is just completely on the rocks. Like his wife filed for divorce, and these group of guys in Nashville, like they are either like sports players or they like own lots of companies. Like these dudes in like high power positions basically have a book club to like help their relationships. And reading them, their like point of view of everything is just hilarious. Like I was laughing so hard through this whole book, and just I liked reading about, I feel like everything is all about like the girl trying to get the guy and like her friend's point of views and like the girl's side. Whereas this, you very much, I mean, you still got a little bit of his wife's side of the story, but it was mainly just like about him and his friends and like how they were going to win his wife back for him. It is very, very good. I would highly, highly recommend it. I'm actually gonna, I think, read the second book. I'm trying to decide though if I want to get the physical book or just read it on my Kindle. So yeah, gave this 4.5 stars. It was extremely good. Definitely recommend it. Very funny. So yeah. Then the last book that I read for this month was also on my Kindle, and it was Sasha and the Butcher. Now I saw this on like a TikTok or an Instagram reel or something, and I gave it a 2.5 stars. It was fine. I didn't think it was like amazing. I thought it was entertaining, but I probably wouldn't reread it. And I don't know if I'm going to read the second book in the series. It follows Sasha and Luca, and Sasha is definitely like the grumpy, it's like grumpy sunshine kind of trope. She is definitely the grumpy and he is definitely the sunshine, which is ironic because he is like a mafia leader, but it's not your like classic mafia leader vibe. So definitely different. I just kind of felt like the story was like a little bit repetitive. Like it was very long for, I felt like the same sort of scenario kept going. But yeah, I still thought it was good. The ending was good. Again, I just don't know if I'm interested enough to pick up the second book. But yeah, so those are all the books I read for this month. I am very happy with the number. I'm kind of in a slump right now, so I need to like figure out what book I want to read next and all of that. But if you read any of these books, let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.